What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the start of this mini-series, Act 2, where I will be revisiting a game I've already talked about in the past, this time covering any major updates that game may have had since the last time I've showcased it here. These videos will be much shorter than my usual format and will dive into all the major changes the game was updated with, whether it's DLC, new modes, and fixes here and there. And what better way to start things off with Code Bunny, who recently had a major update. For those who are not aware, Code Bunny is a side-scrolling momentum-based platformer that plays very similar to Sonic and Gunvolt mixed with a little bit of fighting game magic. If you want a full breakdown of the game and its mechanics, I'll link my original video in the description below. This major update Code Bunny received has included some quality of life changes, a new mode, and a few unlockables with either character. For starters, the game now supports multiple save files, 3 of them to be exact. Your save files will also display your story progression, the time, and even include a nice character dorma based on your progression and reading the talk room content within the game. They've even made training missions replayable, which is great for brushing up on the basics, and Axel in particular has a new training level added for him. Every controller is now fully supported, plus you can map your lower triggers when you're configuring your buttons. This is a change I welcome immensely, as I originally wanted to map certain actions on these triggers before. Just keep in mind that due to this redesign, you're going to need to remap your buttons again. Other quality of life changes they've done to this game was move the language setting to the title screen so that it's easier to see. They improved the stage select menu by just letting you press left and right on the controller when scrolling the levels. Hazel's ghost crescent icon is more visible, Axel's normal attacks are faster now, and Mysterious Bunny X no longer uses the spread shot attack during its boss fight. They've even fixed up some issues in the story dialogue, reorganizing the talk room order so the conversations are sequenced properly, fixed up typos, and changed some of the original dialogue to improve its clarity. I would point out those differences, but it's been a hot minute since I've read through the game's story, and I've spent most of my time replaying the levels for a better time once I've cleared the main campaign. But now, it's time we move on to that added content, which is for free by the way. The game now includes a boss rush mode for both Hazel and Axel. Running through this mode will put you in a gauntlet against every boss that even includes new story-based dialogue, plus both characters will be able to fight the bosses that were originally exclusive to each other. Battling against all those Hazel clones as Axel is a cakewalk compared to the time I fought against him as Hazel herself. Also, is it just me or does the actual hub world music in this particular mode sound like something that came out of Street Fighter 3rd Strike? But one other thing that is unique to this boss rush is that you'll be fighting against an even harder version of Soleil once you've reached her. She's not only packing more health, but her attacks are also faster and more frantic than how they were before. So if you thought she was hard already, this version of her is going to have a field day while she's tossing you around. Now once you've defeated Soleil for the second time, the character you're currently playing as will get a new move added into their arsenal. Axel gains a new EX skill that works very similar to Gunvolt's tag system. Anytime you hit an enemy while your EX meter is full, they'll gain a mark that is stackable if you keep hitting the same enemy. If you happen to spin your EX meter while they are marked, either by using a special move or getting hit so it activates your shield, that mark will burst and deal additional damage based on how many stacks you've poured on. This can also be used to detonate multiple foes at once. This new skill basically rewards the player for not blowing their load too early and hanging on to that EX meter just a little bit longer before they decide to spend it, resulting in heavier damage than you normally would. Moving on to Hazel, she'll gain a new aerial technique which functions exactly the same way as Zero's pizza cutter move he'll perform in midair. You can use this move anytime by pressing the jump button, and she can also use it right after her ghost crescent, allowing Hazel to not only keep her momentum, but also buzzsawing enemies that happens to be in her way. Plus, if you activate this move just as she's about to land, she'll perform an additional bounce. These two new moves are not the only things you unlock from clearing Boss Rush though. An additional stage called Another Dream opens up right after clearing the Boss Rush, and it's here you'll face off against an extremely difficult version of either Hazel or Axel depending on who you're controlling. By the way, if you're playing as Hazel, keep in mind that Axel is not alone. This fight is going to throw your face in the dirt no matter who you're playing as. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. You don't need to clear this battle in order to unlock the new EX moves, but I can't tell you what happens once you've defeated either because I hadn't beaten them yet. Going to tell you right now, it's gonna take a very long time before I'm able to do that, as this is the furthest I've got to beating the harder version of Hazel, and to be honest, I have no idea how I was able to damage her that much in the first place. But hey, at least when you're going ahead and attempting these balls to the wall difficult fights, you can at least have some really good fight music to bop to while you're getting your face smashed in. But in the event that you need to take a break and decided to leave, you'll be happy to know that you can select Another Dream from the stage select menu once you've unlocked it. You don't need to clear the boss rush again. Oh right, clearing the game as Hazel will give you the ability to change to her other suits, which is why you see her running around in this footage without her usual helmet. Anyway, this is a pretty nice update we've gotten, and like I said earlier, it's free of charge. So if you ever want to pick up the game at a later date, all of these changes will be included so you don't need to drop an additional dime just to get everything. Additionally, I recently found out that this game is also coming to all platforms outside of the PC. So if you want to play this game on other consoles, they are currently working on the console ports as we speak. Anyway, that will be all for this episode of Act 2. Who will be next to get the Act 2 treatment? Only time will tell. Gal Guardian Servants of the Dark is still cooking in the oven, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But until then, if you like what you saw, feel free to hit me with that Siggity sub. Once again, check out my original video on Code Bunny so you can get the full scope of the game, and I hope I get to see you all in the next one. Later!